Let's see, just doing an update to my Super Nintendo collection. I got like 15 new games about that. This video's probably going to be kind of short. I don't really have much to say about these games, but let's get started. Contra 3 Alien Wars. It's a great Contra game. The only problem with this game is the overhead part. It's so weird. I don't know, it couldn't, they should have took it out. Like, that would have made this game probably one of the best Contras ever made. Though it is probably, like, third, second best Contra. So, if you haven't played it, definitely play it. ActRaiser 2. This is probably one of the hardest action games I've ever played. Like, this game is just brutal. It kicks you when you're down. Like, wow. The first mini-boss kills you in 3 shots, and you have like a 10 gauge health bar. So that's kind of brutal, I mean. And that's normal mode, that ain't hard mode. This game's just brutal. It doesn't have the same appeal as ActRaiser 1, so... Secret of Mana. It's decent. Really, I just hate the battle system. How you need to get to 100% to do an actually powerful attack, just, I don't know, it makes the battle so slow. The best part about this game, though, which definitely makes it so great, is the fact that you can have 2 other people play with you. What RPG can you ever have that? It's always a one-person thing. No, not this. This gives you 3 people to play with. That's just kick-ass. Out of This World. This is kind of one of those action-adventure puzzle die-every-minute kind of games. It's brutal. I haven't gotten too far because of the brutal factor. All around it's not too bad, but it's definitely hard. Like, you can't get around that. Flashback. Quest for Identity. It's kind of like Out of This World, but easier, in a sense. I mean, it's not that easier, but... overall, it's just kind of like Out of This World, but that's pretty good, I guess. Blackthorn. It's like the other 2 games, but this one's actually playable. It's not as brutal, but it's a lot more fun. Well, that's a pretty decent summary, I suppose. Ghouls and Ghosts. Wow. What can I say about this game? It's probably one of the hardest games I've ever played. It's brutal, but all the Ghosts and Goblins games have been like that, so, you know. But the funny part about this is it's actually fun to play. Most brutal games you just want to throw, but this game's actually fun. Axelay. It's a pretty decent shoot-'em-up. Cool thing about this is most shoot-'em-ups, you're, like, limited certain amount to where you can move, but this gives you a lot more movement. You can go from vertical and horizontal stages, which is kind of nice, so you don't get bored of just doing one kind of thing. It's got some decent power-ups. Pretty good shoot-'em-up. I'd check it out. Tetris Attack. I don't know why it has the name Tetris. This isn't a Tetris game, like, at all, but it's alright. I mean, I'm not big into Tetris. I got this for, like, $5 at my pawn shop, so it's like, why not pick it up and try it? Not bad. Soul Blazer. This is the first in the trilogy, which I guess is called the Soul Blazer trilogy. It doesn't really have a name. Pretty good game. The sequel to this was Illusion of Guy, which kicked ass. This is a little less as good as Illusion of Guy, but definitely fun. I'd check it out if you haven't already. Dragon View. I haven't played this much, but it's kind of an action-y RPG going on. Not bad. Since I haven't played it too much, I can't say if it's really good or bad, so I'll say it's pretty decent. Now, this is a fun game right here. Wild Guns. This is a hard one to explain. You're kind of like in the foreground. You got your crosshairs that aim at enemies. Shoot them, of course. And there's a time limit you're supposed to go to. And when it hits 0, you fight the mini-boss or boss. And, good game. That's pretty much it for that one. It's a good game. Check it out if you haven't. Biometal. Another shoot 'em up. This one... it's alright. My main problem with this, and for me it's a big one, is there's no sound effects. The only music there is like this techno music, which is cool for like the first minute, but once you notice it loops after like 10 seconds, it just starts pissing you off, and you just want to turn it off. Overall, I guess it's playable. I haven't gotten far. I don't like it much. Lost Vikings. This is another one of those action puzzle games, but I can't say it's really impossible to beat. This one's actually possible. You get to use the three Vikings. Each of them have their own little health bars. Good game. I would check this out. It's pretty fun. Oh shit, I'm almost done already. Save the best for last. And most people aren't going to know what this game is because I had to import it, but Terranigma. This is probably one of the greatest Super Nintendo games, and fucking too expensive at that. You'll notice that the cartridge is different from what you normally see. That's because I got the European version. It does have English text, though, which is nice, but a big problem about this game is you can't play it in an American Super Nintendo without a certain adapter or converter. And this game has a very, very tight lockout system, which makes it nearly impossible to play on an American Super Nintendo. But one of the converters I found that works is an Action Replay 3. These are only made in Europe, so these things are also expensive as all fuck. So, yeah, anyway, back to the game. The game. Kind of think of like Zelda style going on, fighting style, but less puzzle, more action. Only problem I have, actually there's a few problems, but one problem I have is if you accidentally level up like one extra level and fight the boss, you can pretty much kill him in like 5 shots. So that's kind of annoying. The game's a little short. The first time I played it, I beat it in like 14 hours, which isn't too long for an RPG, but I'm not saying that's bad. I mean, it has high replay value, which is good. What else can I say about this game? That's about it. It's pretty good. This is the last game in the Soul Blazer trilogy. And it just kicks ass. I definitely check it out. Unless you're like serious Super Nintendo collector, though, just play the ROM, because this game costs a fuckload. And then you have to include the adapter to play it, which also costs a lot, so I think altogether I spent around 150 just to get to play this fucking game. It's a good game, though. Definitely check it out. Well, that's pretty much it. I don't really think I'm going to update my Super Nintendo in a long time. I don't buy games really now. Well, if anyone cares, I'm going to end this off with a slideshow of my box collection and what I have in it. So, yeah, whatever. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later.